Alright, this is a Sansui 9090, and the purpose of this video is so people realize that when you go to clean controls and switches in these things, there's no easy access. If you look, this is the volume control and the balance control down here. Has to be yanked out to be able to get at it properly. These are the Dolby controls, but the most important thing in here are these switches, and this particular switch back here, which yeah, you can see a little bit here, back in here, all these wafers. This is the Dolby board, which acts up and needs a good cleaning. Also needs capacitors replaced, resoldered. You can't take this particular Dolby board out of a 9090 dB or an 8080 for that matter without pulling the whole front off. You can see the whole front's taken off. Pull it around the front. Okay. And disassembling the whole thing just to be able to get at these switches. And then you need to get the spray way in the back. This is the tone board down here to get at these controls, which we'll do next. All of these have to be, this whole thing's going to have to be disassembled and yanked out. 9090 is probably one of my favorite, in fact absolutely one of my favorite receivers. I love these things, but they're like anything else, a lot of capacitors, a lot of work to get these things to where they should be. We're going to recap this thing here shortly. We'll start with this power supply, and if you can see down here, this also is buried. Board has to come out of the top just to be able to disassemble this to bring this particular thing out. And some GWIS info for people maybe who have a 9090, etc., etc. Right down in here are two controls. These controls here, they're little trim pots. These controls here are for the meters on the front. Well, I've received a lot of 9090s over the years that have a problem with one or the other meter does not work, or it's only going halfway. These things either become bad or dirty. So sometimes if you, now there's one easy fix for yourselves, it would be to take the bottom off, and you can get to these controls. And sometimes it's just a matter of turning them back and forth with a screwdriver or something to clean up the bad one, and that'll get your meters working again. But this particular video, just an introduction so people realize that cleaning the pots and the controls on these receivers is not a matter of just taking the bottom off and getting some spray in them. They have to be disassembled, and it takes some time to do them right, and there are a lot of them. Anyway, again, it's Sansui 9090B. This is Michael. This is your 9090. Obviously, somebody taped the knob up here. But I'm down in Florida now. I brought this along with me to work on. I have a bench down here when I come down so I can do a little bit of working. And I should be done with this in a day or two and take it back home. That's it. Sansui 9090.